If you've ever seen a picture of Bangkok, you know this silhouette. It's just instantly recognizable. This is Wat Arun, of course, one of the most famous landmarks in all of Thailand. But behind that picture-perfect view, there's this incredible story. A story of kings, of cosmology, and believe it or not, a really clever act of recycling that goes back centuries. So it's famously called the Temple of Dawn. And that name actually comes from Aruna, the Hindu god of the sunrise. It's just perfectly placed, right? Standing there majestically on the west bank of the Chao Phraya River, Bangkok's great river, where it catches that very first light of day. But here's what's so fascinating. This temple, it wasn't just built in one go. Not at all. It's a story that unfolded over centuries, starting as this humble little local shrine and slowly becoming the national treasure we see today. So that's the big question, right? How did this stunning masterpiece actually come to be? And what secrets are hidden away in all those intricate walls? Okay, so to really get Wat Arun, we've got to jump in a time machine. We need to go way back, long before Bangkok was the massive, sprawling capital it is today. Check this out. This is a French map from the 1600s, and it gives us our first real clue. See, right where Wat Arun stands now, there was a small temple in a little village called Bangkok. I mean, can you believe that? The future symbol of the entire capital started out in a simple riverside village. It's pretty amazing. And this timeline really lays out the temple's incredible journey. So it starts as Wat Makok back in the 17th century, but then a huge shift happens in 1767. The old capital falls, and King Taksin establishes his new capital right here, renaming the temple Wat Sheng. It was so important it even housed the sacred Emerald Buddha for a while. Then we move into the 19th century, where it gets its final name, Wat Arun, and the kings kick off this grand expansion project that gives us the icon we know today. Which, of course, brings us to its most defining feature. I mean, the thing you see from everywhere, that magnificent central spire, which is called a prang. And let me tell you, this was no simple repair job. We're talking about the early 19th century, under kings Rama II and III. They set this incredibly ambitious plan in motion to completely transform the skyline. The goal? To create something that could be seen for miles and miles around, a powerful symbol for a new royal era. So how ambitious was it? The plan was to build a central spire that would reach a staggering 86 meters, that's 282 feet, straight up into the sky. I mean, for that time period, that was an absolutely incredible feat of engineering. It's no surprise the whole thing took 9 full years to finish, wrapping up in 1851. And boy, did it make an impact. Right away, just a few years after it was done, the French explorer Henri Mouhot wrote this quote you see here. He's basically saying the new spire wasn't just a religious building. It was like a beacon. It was the first thing you saw sailing up the river that told you you've arrived. You're in the capital of Siam. And this engraving from the 1850s just perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? It really shows you just how awe-inspiring that new tower must have been, completely dominating everything around it. It had, without a doubt, become the city's great landmark. But the real magic of Wat Arun isn't just its massive size. It's in the tiny details. I mean, you have to get right up close to really appreciate it. The entire surface is covered in this incredible, colorful mosaic. Now, you'd probably assume all these intricate tiles were, custom-made by royal artists for this grand project. But the real story behind this stunning decoration is, well, it's something else entirely. It's an amazing story of ingenuity and, as I mentioned, recycling. Just look at this close-up. You can really see it here. The temple is covered in literally countless pieces of broken porcelain, all carefully arranged to create flowers, leaves, all these beautiful, intricate patterns. It's just a breathtaking piece of art, but on this absolutely massive scale. So, the big reveal, where did all this porcelain come from? Incredibly, it was used as ballast. Yeah, ballast. So trade ships coming over from China were loaded with tons of cheap, broken porcelain just to weigh them down and keep them stable on the journey. When they got to Bangkok, they just dumped it. But instead of letting all that junk go to waste, someone had the brilliant idea to repurpose it to decorate the king's new temple. How cool is that? But this beautiful mosaic is way more than just decoration. The whole structure is packed with deep symbolism. In Hindu-Buddhist cosmology, that central spire represents Mount Meru. That's the mythical mountain at the very center of the universe.
And each level of the temple represents a different realm, from our human world down at the base, all the way up to the heavenly realms at the top. So when you're looking at Wat Arun, you're really looking at a model of the entire cosmos.
And standing guard at the entrance to the main hall, you'll find these two massive, imposing figures. These are yaksha, which are basically guardian demons from the Ramakien, the Thai national epic. The white one is Sahasadeja, and the green one, well, that's the famous demon king Thotsa Khan, who you might also know as Ravana from the Ramayana. Of course, a building this old and this incredibly detailed needs constant care. And that's what brings the story of Wat Arun right into our modern era. And, well, into a little bit of controversy, too. So take a look at this comparison. On the left, that's the temple before its most recent major restoration. And on the right, that's after the work was finished in 2017. The difference is pretty striking, isn't it? This restoration actually kicked off a really interesting debate. So over 5 years, a ton of broken porcelain tiles were replaced and the surfaces were refinished with a traditional lime plaster. But when they unveiled it, this new, bright, almost whitewashed look got some criticism. A lot of people said they prefer the older, more weathered look. But officials responded by saying that the goal all along was to restore the temple to how it would have looked when it was first built. But despite that debate, Wat Arun's place in the heart of Thailand is absolutely secure. It's still an active place of worship, it's a huge destination for visitors from all over the world, and it remains this powerful, enduring symbol of the nation's history, its faith, and its incredible artistic genius. And all of this really leaves us with a fascinating final thought, doesn't it? The whole story of Wat Arun's restoration brings up a challenge that people face all over the world. When we preserve these incredible historic landmarks, what are we really trying to do? Are we trying to freeze them in time just as we remember them? Or is the goal to restore them to some ideal, original state? It's a really profound question, and it gets to the heart of how we keep our history alive for future generations.